astrology for the week of August 11th to the 17th. Mercury's going direct on Monday. I don't know about you, but this is like a dance party in my system. Not only this, later on in the week, Mercury gets into a really good flowing energy aspect to Mars. This is movement forward. Again, I don't know about you, but for me, a little bit of movement forward with some clarity about what is the greatest path. I am ready to be able to get some traction, get my feet underneath me and get things actually moving in like physical, tangible 3D world. I think a lot of us have been on a pretty interesting retrograde journey. There are still 4 planets retrograde this week, right? We still have Saturn retrograde. We still have Neptune retrograde. We still have Pluto retrograde, and Chiron is still retrograde. So there's still a lot of internal stuff, but with Mars and with Mercury direct, Mars being in that aspect, there is going to be movement forward. Love this. We also this week have one of the most auspicious days of all of August. I would say, venture to say, it is the luckiest day in all of August. We'll talk about what that is, why that is, and how we can work with that. Then there's a little bit of interesting feminine dark goddess aspects going on. We have a really beautiful Grand Trine. Grand Trines are great for flowing energy. It's just pretty potent. Like, it's a lot of deep, sacred feminine energy flowing. I want to talk about how we might tap into that, or how that might be weaving into our lives in ways that we often don't know. So a lot of times this kind of comes about in ways that are not totally in our face. You know, it's not like something that's happening right here. It's kind of something that's happening here. You know, it's like deep in the undercurrents. Like, you can kind of think of the deep sacred feminine as like the deep undercurrents. But when you tap into them, it's like intuitive, emotional knowing. I know what I know, but I don't know how I know. And my goodness, that can be really informing for our paths forward, really informing for any questions that we've got going on. All right. I'm Sabrina Lynn. This is Rewilding Astrology. It's embodied astrology. We weave in a really good portion of feminine archetypal energies with the primary masculine archetypal energies. So a little bit different in the astrology. I was very much trained in the embodiment of all of these archetypal energies. I am much more of an embodiment expert and an archetypal expert than I am an astrology expert. But I can definitely read the archetypes, read the energies, and give us a pulse on what's happening. So my aim is to give us the greatest pulse that I can, to give you kind of the best roadmap for the week, what it's going to look like, what we can tap into, how to get the most out of this week. So here we go, the energetic roadmap for the week of the 11th to the 17th of August. I'll go day by day, and we'll see. We've been doing little practices at the end, a little bit of like an activation around what's kind of alive, what's hot, what serves the most. Everything that I do in these conversations are, what is it that serves the most in this moment for anyone who will ever access this video? Just from that place. So here we go. If you're new and you haven't subscribed and you don't want to miss any future updates, or if you're old and you haven't subscribed, my goodness, hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. It means a lot, helps us out a lot. And then also on your end, you won't miss anything. That bell helps you get notifications when new videos come out. I think I'm going to do something on Sedna. I know y'all left me lots of comments last week on Sedna. Like, yes, Sabrina, dive into Sedna and Eris. These are really potent, powerful feminine archetypal energies for all of 2025, right? Remember, Sedna is the one who's conjunct Uranus. I kind of mentioned that. She's whole body transformation. This is whole body transformation. Uranus is hot this week. I don't know if I said that a little bit earlier, but he's one of the hot archetypes this week. If I had to say hot archetypes this week, I would say Venus. She's been in the mix quite a bit. I would say Uranus. Uranus really hot, really alive this week from an archetypal standpoint. And I'm going to put Osiris in there. I'm going to put Osiris in the mix for hot archetypes. Mary Magdalene's in the mix this week as well. And we'll see what else we kind of come up with. But all right, we'll go day by day and see what we can get into. So Monday, this is the day that Mercury stations direct. When a planet stations direct, it's louder. So if we were to say, okay, Mercury's energy is louder in our systems, it's louder in the world. This has to do with thinking. It has to do with communication. It has to do with short-term travel, we could say, right? Like the traveling of information, the traveling of ideas, the traveling of you. Like what is that connection points between thoughts, between ideas? You can kind of think of like social media as very mercurial, the mind, all of those things, the mind. So it could be an interesting day on Monday. We've been in this retrograde for a few weeks now, him stationing. Now, him stationing doesn't mean it's the end of his little adventure that he was on. This little adventure has to do with recalibrating, realigning us to our highest path forward. He's a psychopomp. Mercury is messenger of the gods. He is guide to the soul. Mercury is a psychopomp. When you go into deeper energetic levels of what it is that Mercury is doing, he's not here to just mess with communications. He's here to alter 3D reality and move things around in the world so that he can deepen us into our soul's journey. Psychopomp, guide to the soul. I am going to step in during a retrograde and I'm going to guide you tightly, wildly, deeply. We are going to readjust things. We are going to realign things. I am going to recalibrate things and I am going to rewire you. That's what he was saying in this retrograde. Now, him coming out of it, it's like he's now gone deep into the depths of it and he's now going like this. On Monday, a really great practice would be to give ourselves some journal time, some meditative time around the energetics of what have I been looking at over the last 3 weeks around shining my unique essence. What have I been learning about? What is it that dulls my shine? What is it that like log jams, blocks my creative, unique essence? So in Leo, it's all about your unique essence shining forth. How does light and love want to move through you uniquely? And this Mercury retrograde will oftentimes show you shadow. What was in the way? What is in the way? Where do you compromise? Where do you dull your shine to people please, to not rock the boat? Where do you play small? Where do you not speak your truth? This on Monday is a really good door to open up and just ask, because it's loud, it's wide open. He's already done the underworld journey. Now he's kind of holding all of these insights here and going, this is your like next, what do I want to say? There's words here. Like this is your next greatest life. This is your next greatest potential. This is your next greatest true essence shining through. But these are the things to see. These are now the things. This is the part of his retrograde that he's coming into, is these are the things to now make changes to. So up until this point, while he was going backwards in the sky, seemingly looking like it's backwards, he's going down to do the excavating. So he's done the excavating. He's now holding it and going, okay, now is where we put this into life. Now is where we make the decisions. Now is where we make the pivots. You've maybe made a few pivots already, but now it's like, now I can get some traction. I can get some movement forward. It's now time to really analyze and go, okay, what are these pivots forward? What are these new structures to create in my life? What are things I'm walking away from that dull my shine? And what are structures to create in my life that can support my unique essence of self, my unique soul's expression at this moment in time? Kind of powerful, kind of powerful. It's a little more than just like a glitch in communication. That's really what's going on with Mercury, right? From an embodied archetypal standpoint, we all have Mercury in us. There's just ways of tapping into the deeper mysteries held within Mercury. And that's kind of what I'm pointing to here, is the deeper mysteries held within Mercury, the deeper aspects of it. So it's, sure, we could just hang out and talk about him messing up communication. That's a level. But if we could go a little bit deeper, like what is it on a soul standpoint? Like a soul standpoint, what is it that's here for me? We can get a lot out of this, and we can make a lot of different decisions that are soul aligned decisions. So if we're feeling like, life isn't quite fulfilling. Like, I'm not living the right life. Maybe life isn't feeling very meaningful at the moment, or a little bit lost, or a little bit confused, or like, how did I get here? This is the territory to work in. This is really powerful territory to work in. We do a lot of this work in our August 1st. We did a lot of this work in our August 1st membership circle. So if you're feeling like this is something hot for you and you want a guided journey right into this territory to work with these deeper energetics, these deeper mysteries of Mercury, that's the place to go, right? It's called Clarity in the Fire, that workshop that we did. Replay's ready for you. There's also 7+ hours of bonus workshops and content held within membership. Go dive in, try it out for a month. You can leave at any point. If you love it, stay for life. It's a really powerful community. And that August 1st circle was one of my favorites in the last year. One of my favorite journeys that we took. It's a 2-hour journey. It was one of my favorite. I had a lot of very senior members on my team who've been around for 7+ years messaging me after with fire emojis of like, what the mind blown emoji of like, wow, this was next level. So just if this territory sings to you, or doing work that you don't have to have any experience in this, but if it sings to you, look at the links below, check out Bones, get in for a month. It's $59 for a month, or you could get 2 months for free and do a full year membership if you want to dive a little bit deeper and commit a little bit more to something. All right, let's move on. So that's Mercury going direct on Monday. Also on Monday, this is where Uranus starts to get into the mix. Remember, Uranus, he's one of the big archetypes this week. Uranus is considered the Great Awakener. Uranus, Great Awakener. He's a Kundalini awakener. I want to awaken you to the non-ordinary states. This is Uranus, you're seeing reality from a very limited standpoint. And this is actually science. We only see 3% of the actual electromagnetic field. We only see as humans, we see 3%. Isn't this wild? I heard that stat the other day when I was doing some crazy deep diving research into what's going on energetically at the moment with human consciousness and consciousness expanding. 3%. 97% we're not taking into. Our reality is based on that. Colors don't even exist. Our brains just create colors, right? Isn't this wild? This is so fascinating to me. But I share these little stats just to go what Uranus as an archetypal energy, and this archetypal energy lives in me, it lives in the world, it lives in you, it's in everything. When we tap into the deeper mysteries of Uranus, we start to see that what he does is he starts to broaden our bandwidth, right? He'll broaden the bandwidth. So instead of seeing 3%, you maybe see 3.1%. Maybe then you start to see the Arcturians, you start to see the Pleiadians. Maybe you go to 3.3%. And then, wow, you start to see how, things are more of a matrix and it's more grid-like. And you start to see the veils get much thinner and you're like, whoa, what I think is really tangible, hard physical reality actually is not. You actually start to see it from even maybe more of a scientific standpoint, a quantum physics sort of a standpoint. You're like, gosh, I actually can see the world as it is all just made up of particles that just kind of conglomerate together to create what my brain perceives as physical objects. And that's not even reality. So anyways, let me reel it in here a little bit. That's a little bit far out, but that's really what Uranus is pushing to do. It's what Uranus is pushing to do in 2025. He'll push to do that in 2026. This is part of what that new human is, that new earth is, this new expanded states of consciousness we're moving into. This also has a lot to do with AI and AI pushing us into new states of consciousness, right? It's as within, so without, right? And so if we're seeing, it was when the internet came on. When the internet came on, we also got an internet, as within, so without. This is kind of what Uranus is saying. If this is happening outside of us, this rapid technological growth expansion, it's also happening inside of you. So Uranus is part of who's opening up our consciousness. He's opening up our psyches, and he's saying there's a revolution happening within yourself. You are revolutionizing the way that you see, the way that you think, the way that you operate in this world. That's Uranus. Isn't that stunning? Energetically, you can also think of Uranus as he's the nervous system. It's probably why a lot of our nervous systems are on overload. It's probably why we're sleeping a lot. It's probably why we have all these different ascension symptoms going on, right? This is a rewiring. It is an upgrade. It is an up-leveling that's going on. Now, Monday, Uranus is in a sextile to Saturn. Saturn is he who is structure, he who is foundation, he who is, we could say, 3D reality, right? This is, and a sextile is beautiful flowing energy. This is really interesting that Mercury goes direct this day, the psychopomp going, hey, here's how you shine your light uniquely in the world. Here's the next steps to take to support that. Here's your actions to take to support how you uniquely shine your light. And then we have Uranus saying, and it's revolutionizing, and you are new, and you are different, and there is more reality to see. While Saturn is going, and what is the foundation and what is the structure? Saturn's saying like, okay, here's previous reality. This is your previous bandwidth. Uranus is saying, expand your bandwidth. And Mercury is saying, and shine your light, give your gift. This is how love wants to flow through you. Again, that workshop in Bones will support all three of those things that I just spoke about. If you want a way to like somatically work with it, energetically dive into it, be guided right there into kind of these like raw sacred energies that are held within you, that's a really simple, very easy way to dive into that and see what happens for you. Okay, so that's on Monday. Tuesday, this is the big, beautiful day. This is the auspicious day. This is the luckiest day in all of August. What would I do on Tuesday? I would buy lottery tickets on Tuesday. I would, if there was like, I don't know, like something where you're like, ooh, I got to cross my fingers for this one. You know, you want to send that email in that you think would just be a total no, or you want to ask that question of someone where it's like, gosh, this would just be like the greatest blessing, the best good luck thing that could ever happen to me. These doors just open, fling wide open. Tuesday's the day to do it. Like there's a couple of people that I would love to invite on the podcast. They're really aligned with this new earth, new human, and kind of what we're doing in rewilding, not kind of what we're doing in rewilding, definitely what we're holding in rewilding and what we're creating circles for, and even just that August 1st circle in Bones is really supporting this us as new human, like with this new. And so there's a couple of people I'd love to invite on the Rewilding podcast to talk about this. And Tuesday would be the day that I would want to send those emails out, or they'd probably be Instagram messages, or however I would end up communicating that. I would send it out on Tuesday, right? So it's things like that where you're like, gosh, who knows what the response to this could be, but gosh, if I just had a little bit of good luck behind me, gosh, if I could just like work with a little bit of, grace and goodness and magic in the world, it would be Tuesday. So set yourself up. Like, I hope you're listening to this before Tuesday, because Tuesday you want to do all of those things. Do them on Tuesday. Here's why. You know how they talk about Lionsgate? Lionsgate, oh my gosh, high frequencies, really good luck manifesting, really good luck calling it in. And they used to say Lionsgate was when our sun, the Earth sun, lined up with Sirius, the spiritual sun. It's like our spiritual sun. And then they would call it Lionsgate. Anyways, I've talked about that last week. So if you're like, I want to know what the scoop really is with like astrologically with what Lionsgate is in 8/8, you can go look at last week's episode and just watch that little section. You'll see timestamps. You can easily jump to that. But for today, Venus, who's benevolent, Jupiter, who's benevolent, he's the grace bomb, right? He's grace bomb. If you were to pick one archetypal energy in all of astrology, that is the good luck charm, that is the grace bomb, you would pick Jupiter. Jupiter is conjunct Venus on the spiritual sun Sirius. If this isn't what everyone's pointing to for Lionsgate around manifesting in high frequencies and really good luck, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. When I did a little research, this only happens every 80 years. We're not going to see this again in our lives, where it's the two benefics, Jupiter, Venus, on top of Sirius, the spiritual sun. Amazing day to do spiritual practices. Amazing day, like I said, to buy lottery tickets, or to, for me, send these emails out or these Instagram notes of like, hey, would you be interested in coming on talking about new human with me? right? This is the day. Tuesday is the day. It is the day. I cannot stress this enough. We are in some really intense times, and I think when we get good reprieves like this, we ought to go for it. So that kind of starts to set in Monday into Tuesday. Tuesday is when they hit Sirius. That's at 14 degrees of Cancer, right? So Sirius, the spiritual sun, is at 14 degrees of Cancer. That's when those two are conjunct, and they are right on top of Sirius. Powerful. Stay tuned to our social media channels, like our YouTube shorts. I always put these things out, or our Instagram channel or our TikTok. I put out daily videos, and I'll definitely be putting one out on that day with like practices and how you can align and attune to it. Just like short, fun little things that I'm putting out daily. I think I get like 6 out of 7 days that we're putting out new clips. It's like me in the morning, with just my phone and, usually with the dog. And I'm like, all right, sweet, Jupiter's conjunct Venus, conjunct Sirius, here we go. We'll put all the links down below to our social channels. If you like Instagram, go hang out there. If you like TikTok, go hang out there. Facebook, I think some of us are still on Facebook, maybe, don't know. Anyways, they're there. Also, if you subscribe and hit notifications, you'll get the YouTube shorts. So we always put them in YouTube shorts too, if this is your preferred channel. All right, let's keep going. So that's Tuesday. Here's what people aren't going to talk about with this. So you might be hearing this, that Venus is conjunct Jupiter on the spiritual sun Sirius. This is Lionsgate energy. So everything you've heard about manifesting, high frequency, all of that stuff, it pertains to the 12th. This is the day to do it. Now, also, they are trine Black Moon Lilith. They're trine Black Moon Lilith. Remember we were talking a little bit more about the deep sacred feminine. I think I mentioned that earlier. I don't know. I've been talking a lot in a lot of different places. But Black Moon Lilith, she's the conglomerate of the dark goddesses. So when I feel into Black Moon, when I've done embodiment work and I've held spaces for others to do embodiment work around Black Moon, it's not just Lilith, right? It's like the whole conglomerate of the wild woman archetype. It's the whole conglomerate of the dark goddess archetype, right? It's Black Madonna comes in. It's Kali, it's Durga, it's all of these like wild, ferocious feminine archetypal energies open up through this point in the astrology, which is Black Moon. So now Black Moon being in a trine, this is a good aspect. It's good energy. It's good flow. But here's what I like about it, is it adds deep sacred into this already high frequency, high vibing. So if we were to add deep sacred feminine in a good aspect to what is already very high frequency, I would add in some of the deeper sacred mysteries. It's like the deep sacred mysteries of the feminine are unlocking. It's like, you get to access, those feminine mysteries of like do without doing. Like you can magnetize in just via feminine attraction, feminine magnetism. It's like those are awake. It's like that feminine magic comes online also in this. So feminine magic is like, I think a thought, boom, it just happens, right? I have a longing in my heart, an ache. I have a radiance and a magnetism, and I just, boom, I call that in. So that's also alive and online are these deeper sacred feminine mysteries. Sacred feminine mysteries are also very body-based. It's very intuitive-based. It's very emotional. Like our emotions have a lot of energy to them. Our emotions have a lot of manifesting magic to them. People ain't talking about that a whole lot. Like the power of deeply aligned, sacred, feminine, expressed emotions. Fucking powerful. So this is online also in this energy of Tuesday. All right, let's move on to Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm going to say that gateway is still open. There's still a lot of potency. We start to get a little spicier on Wednesday. So now we get a little spicier. It's still a lot of feminine going on Wednesday. But now we go from like, okay, here's the deep sacred feminine, the dark goddess, like supporting grace and supporting good luck and supporting good fortune from all of her depths of goodness. Now we start to go, all right, she's got a little something to say. Venus is in a half square to Uranus and Sedna, right? So remember yesterday I was saying like, Venus is trine Black Moon. Okay, so let me just like break this down a little bit. Venus is a very identifiable part of self. Black moon's a little bit harder to identify in self. Uranus, a little bit harder to identify in self. These are harder to identify in self. They're not like personal planets. Venus is a personal planet, very easy to identify. We will feel this. Venus in a half square to Uranus and Sedna. We're going to feel that. A half square is like a square. It's hard, it's challenging. And when she's in a half square to Uranus and Sedna, it's literally like now Uranus, remember Uranus, radical revolutionary, great awakener. I want to revolutionize things. He's wanting to revolutionize an embodied aspect of ourselves. Feminine is embodied aspect, right? Venus is heart-based. Venus is sensuality-based. And Uranus is like, I'm going to revolutionize your sensuality. I'm going to awaken you to more sacred sexuality, maybe. I'm going to revolutionize your heart. I'm going to awaken your heart. There's much more to your heart wisdom, right? And Uranus being conjunct Sedna, this is full transformation. I am going to, you could think of like a shamanic, this happened to me once in one of my very first shamanic journeys, way back in the day before I even trained in shamanic practices. And it was that my spirit animal, I can't remember what it was at the time. I believe it was still, my very first spirit animal was a black panther. And then that walked away one day in a journey, and then it became a hawk. And that's how it's been. So I can't remember if it was still the black panther then, or if it was the hawk at this point, but whatever, it doesn't matter. At that time, I went into this like deep underworld shamanic journey, with my spirit animal. And it was, you always hold the intention highest and best. Was it that wants to happen here? Was it that wants to happen here? And of course your intentions can change, and what you hold in your intention is always different, but it was just highest and best, open to anything. And it was my spirit animal literally came and ate my entire heart out of my chest. Like just ate my entire heart out, just gone, old heart gone, and then replaced it with a new heart. That's kind of what Uranus conjunct Sedna is saying. I'm not saying it's going to be shamanic for you or your spirit animal is going to rip your heart out and give you a new one, but they're saying that depth of an entire transformation, like your heart out with the old, in with the new. I'm going to take your old heart out. I'm going to put a new heart in. I remember I got my eyes plucked out. This was definitely when I had the hawk, because I remember it like pecking, and it was like my eyes got pecked out, and it was like, you're not seeing fully. There's a new way to see, right? This is what's going on Wednesday, is this very embodied transformation. So it's not like I'm changing forms or I'm revolutionizing something outside of myself. I am transforming things and I'm revolutionizing something inside of myself. And you kind of want to think along the lines of Venus and Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene square Chiron. These are two lovers. This is the feminine lover in us. This is our sensuality. This is our sacred heart. This is our love. This is relationship. This is that aspect of the feminine. So you want to think feminine lover, your feminine lover getting a complete makeover, but it's not like an external makeover so that she like has makeup and new hair and whatever. She's getting a complete internal rewiring via a square. So Chiron is a shamanic initiator, right? He's an initiator. I'm going to initiate your feminine. I'm going to initiate Uranus, great awakener, Kundalini awakener, initiator. It's initiatory energy. I want to initiate you, Sedna, complete transformation. I want to initiate this complete transformation that you're already in. Let's face it, we are all already in a complete transformation. 2025. It is a complete transformation. It's the year of the snake, completely shedding one skin to become something else. Now, this just gets really amplified this week on Wednesday around the feminine aspect of self, around the aspects of Venus, around the aspects of Mary Magdalene. If you want to dive a little bit deeper into, okay, great, talk to me more about Venus and Mary Magdalene, you can just go on our YouTube channel and just type in Venus, right? Look for other podcasts that I've done. Venus, type in Mary Magdalene. Look for some other podcasts. I've done a lot on Venus and I've done a lot on Mary Magdalene, or just look at like feminine lover. Even if you do the 6 Faces masterclass and you go into lover, that's free, by the way. You could go in and just watch that section, that face of the feminine that is the lover, and go, okay, whoa, the lover is getting being initiated. My own lover, everyone's lover, is getting initiated into its next greatest expression of lover. Its next greatest, it's a rites of passage, right? It's a never-ending rites of passage. I'm going to elevate you into your next greatest expression of lover, of feminine lover, right? There are things that are ready to heal. There are things that are ready to drop away. I like to use the word also sometimes in this territory of the immature ways of loving, the immature ways of relating, the immature ways of intimately connecting with someone, the immature ways of expressing sexually, going away. We're a rites of passage. We're being initiated into a more mature Mary Magdalene, a more mature Venus, a more mature feminine lover. So that's Wednesday. All right, let's keep moving on. Thursday, now we start to get into masculine. So, right, if Tuesday was pretty feminine, we had Venus conjunct Jupiter with the black moon. Then Wednesday was, Venus square Uranus, set of Mary Magdalene. Those are really feminine. Those are really feminine days. Now we start to get into very masculine. I kind of like this balance. I kind of like this dancing, really like this dancing of and let me get all aspects of myself working in harmony. Something that you could feel into this week is let me get all aspects of my masculine and my feminine working in harmony. Let me get these dancing together. If they're both fully online and my feminine is supporting my masculine and my masculine is supporting my feminine, I become a powerhouse in the world. I am a powerhouse in the world because I've got all the magic of my feminine dancing with all the magic of my masculine. Those two combined, you create a third force that is like a nuclear force bomb going off. If you've never worked in that territory of sacred union, our threefold path mystery school is definitely the journey. It is the greatest body of work that I have brought through around sacred union. You can find links in the bio for that. We'll put it... I don't want to say anything. I'm going to get a little too excited. We're going to do a whole big thing on eclipses. We're going to put a couple of different things out. Eclipse season's coming up. That's right around the corner. I'll talk about that in our next week ahead astrology episode. We're starting to get inklings of eclipse season. The first eclipse happens September 7th. And then the next eclipse happens September 21st. By the way, we're holding workshops and retreats live and in person, both of those eclipses. Crazy, in the homeland of rewilding, where rewilding was founded, birthed, born 10 years ago in Australia. This is mind-boggling to me that we're there in eclipses. There's still a couple of tickets left, not many for both of those events, but if you're either in Australia, New Zealand, or you just want to do some big badass journey and do some rewilding, there's a couple tickets. We'll put links to that below. You'll also see a link to the threefold path, and we'll give you a little eclipse special coupon. So if you're like, whoa, I want to get in on this now and I don't want to wait to these eclipse specials, we'll put it on special now. We'll do it now. I think it's $997 or something like that. It's a 3-month journey. It's a proper mystery school. It is a good and proper mystery school. It originally went for $3,000 and now it's a third of that price. Because of the way that we've packaged it and the way that we're not holding so many live events and all of those things. But it's a really good one for anyone who's feeling into sacred union or wanting to take a deeper dive into mysteries, into creation, into moving into the new. You will move from who you are now, right, into higher, much more in this new human standpoint. Anyways, I don't need to go off about that. You can go check that out in the link below. All right. So now moving into this more masculine kind of territory, Thursday, this is the 14th. This is where Mercury sextiles Mars. So it's weird because he didn't do that during retrograde. So this is why it feels and will feel like and is a much more rapid movement forward, because he's not doing the whole dance where everything else that he's about to go past and, sextiles and squares and trines and whatever, it's going to be in his, back end shadow zone where he's already danced with them 3 times. He hasn't done that with Mars. The only reason this is happening is because of where these two so interestingly are at. It's a funky, wild thing. But anyways, feel into movement forward. So feel into Mars energy is action. It's the warrior in you. I'm going to fight for this. So Mars wants to fight for Mercury. It's going to be really good to be really clear come Thursday. And then they also will do it again on on, I think it's Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday. So whatever, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, this energy is going to be loud. But what's going to happen is, sorry, my brain is doing this like wild, funny thing. My dog is in the hospital right now, Tucker. Like if y'all know Tucker, right? He's in the hospital right now. So my brain just keeps going like quick check in on my little boy. How is he? So my apologies for that. I'm usually like 110% totally here with you. And I have been up until like this point, like literally we talk Mercury and Mars and action for whatever. Anyways, let's keep going. So Mars is wanting to put into action what it is that Mercury has translated for us. Remember, Mercury was on that deep dive journey into your underworld to align you with soul, to recalibrate, to rewire, to realign. And now Mars wants to put it in place. Here's the interesting part. Mars is ready to take action, so we're going to want to take action on Thursday. But Mars has got to come from a Libran energy. From a Libran energy. This is beautiful. It's stunning. I'll tell you why. From a Libran energy, because what he's doing is he's like, I really want to get it right. I really want to take right action. I want to get into right relationship with forward motion. And so it's beautiful, but it could be a little wonky and a little wobbly. Some of us are super used to Libran energy where the scales are balanced, right? We see both sides, scales are balanced. We want harmony. We want balance in the world. We want, like we don't like arguments, or we don't see one-sided ways. I say my moon is in Libra. I love Libran energy. I have a lot of just like deep respect because I have so much fucking fire in my damn chart. And so to have something that's like, oh yes, harmony and balance and so nice. And just it's air, right? Mars doesn't like it there though. This is his detriment. He doesn't like it there. Mars is fire. Mars is passion. Mars is give me one side. I want one-sided way and I want to go for it. Give me a goal and I don't even care if I have to run people over to achieve the goal. So it's almost like if we were able to come from a more feminine place where we're taking the whole of everything into account. That's the feminine, right? The ground of being, she stands at the ground of being. She's interconnected to the whole of everything. And when the feminine, from like that deep sacred feminine place, when she makes a decision, she's making a decision from the good of the all of everything. Now that includes my highest good. It includes not outside of my highest good. So I like this. It's almost like this keeping Mars in check so he can't go all ego crazy on it. He can't go all one-sided on it. It's keeping, so how do we work with this? If we can get into that place of like, all right, if I'm going to take steps forward, it's going to be in the infinite all of everything, like the highest good of the infinite all of everything. It's going to be from a soul place. If it's in your highest good, it's from a soul place. I'm going to take steps forward, action forward from the highest good of the infinite all of everything, which is in my highest good, but it's my soul's highest good, not my ego highest good. It's not my little self highest good. It's not my little self. It's not my ego self. It's not my wounded self. It's not my, like old pattern, unconscious ways of being, right? It's high voltage, high spirit self. And that's beautiful because Mercury is just coming back from that place. Just coming back from that big soul sojourn. Powerful. So really good stuff on Thursday is soul aligned action. Again, if you want guided journey into that territory, August's workshop in Bones is all about that. Like you will get the clarity. It is the clarity. It is the action steps forward. And it is coming from that place of you've burnt off the ego. You've burnt away the stuff that is to drop, to not be in the highest good of all of everything. That was a really big moth that just flew at my face. Shit's weird today. I'm filming this just after that full moon. That happened on Saturday. So this is the Monday through Sunday conversation. And I'm actually recording this on the Saturday just before the Monday. We just had this full moon in Aquarius, which was conjunct Chiron. My God, big shamanic magic, right? And new, futuristic new. So yeah, feeling like super shamanic, like animals, spirit guides, and moths, and wee. All right, let's keep going here. So that's Thursday. Now, Thursday, this also starts to happen, but I'm going to put this in Friday. So this is Thursday, Friday, into Saturday. Hygieia is conjunct Isis. This is the Grand Trine of the feminine that I was talking about. So the Grand Trine of the feminine, this is big magic. Hygieia and Isis. If I were to pick two archetypal energies that hold the highest voltage magic, I would pick those two. Highest voltage magic, I would pick those two. From a feminine magic standpoint, Isis and Hygieia. Now, the fact that they're conjunct, that is amplified. It is amplified. Hygieia, Kundalini, goddess of miraculous awakening. Isis, the Egyptian mysteries. Stunning, miraculous, those two in combination, it's like unstoppable. There's nothing that can't be alchemized. There's nothing that can't be magnetized in. There's nothing that can't be transformed. Like the miraculous will become the mundane on this day, right? Like in this energy, the miraculous becomes the mundane. People who've never walked their whole life can walk in this energy. Cancer that you never thought would be healed can be healed in this energy. Like that's this kind of energy, miraculous energy. Now they're trying Sekhmet. Sekhmet is going to hold us to our true north. Sekhmet's going to hold you to your highest potentials. She's lion-headed. She's going to hold you to the highest potentials. Hold you to the highest potentials. Now they're trying, that's because it's a grand trine, to Lilith, the Lilith asteroid. So it's not like Black Moon where I talked about this is a conglomerate of the dark goddesses. This is Lilith. This is Lilith, she who demands equality, the wild woman, right? So we've got Lilith, Sekhmet, Hygieia, Isis. All of them hold an enormous amount of magic from different angles. This, I would say, is another good day. Friday, I would say, is another good day, like Tuesday, but you want to think in the deeper realms. It's like the deep, sacred, feminine undercurrents. It's like deeper realms. So it wouldn't be like in your face Venus, Jupiter, who are very, very easy to see, very easy to access. This would be like, you want to do rituals on this day. You want to set intentions on this day. You want to create the altar on this day. You want to do feminine undercurrents. This is like pull the oracle card, set the intentions, and you let the feminine undercurrents like move through the world without you having to take overt action. Tuesday's the magic day to take overt action, to have the conversations, to, like invite the people onto the podcast, buy the lottery ticket. It's like the day of magic doing. This is the day of magic being. It's much more in the unseen, much more in the undercurrents. That's the place to work this day. So this is the place to work, but they're going to hold you. I like this because they're sandwiched between this Mercury, Mars. Mercury just came back from the soul sojourn. Mars is in Libra. They're going to hold the dark goddesses in check too. They need to be held in check. This isn't just holding Mars masculine, could be egomaniac in check. This is also holding the witch in check, because the witch can go to the dark side. The witch can go to the dark side just like Mars can go to the dark side, right? The witch can go to the ego side, the dark side, right? Cast on all sorts of silly little freaking spells and goofy stuff. So this is a day to, whoa, big juice, big power, big potency. May I be aligned in my highest good. Hold me to my highest good. Thank goodness Sekhmet is there. And Lilith, hold me to my highest good, right? Hold me to my highest good. In alignment with my highest good. Highest good. And my highest good, if I'm genuinely in it, is the highest good of the all of everything. Let me say that one more time. If I'm genuinely in alignment with my highest good. Genuinely in alignment with my highest good. This is where most people fall off the boat because they don't, right? It's hard. It's not easy. If I'm genuinely in alignment with my highest good, I am in alignment with the highest good of the infinite all of everything, because I am weaving my soul thread. I am dancing it to the greatest degree that I can. I am singing my unique soul song. And that's the greatest gift that we can give the world. It's the greatest gift, right? Because it's your exact, and that's Leo, that's Mercury and Leo. Sing your song, weave your thread. Like that is the greatest gift. And that is you being in perfect harmony with the infinite all of everything. And your highest good is in the highest good of the all of everything. So just that for Friday. Yeah, pretty good moving into the weekend, right? So that kind of happens Thursday night into Friday. It's still going to be loud on Saturday. Mercury makes that Mars exact sextile again because they're doing a dance. Mercury's now speeding up, so they're going to do that again. I already talked about that previously. That's that masculine energy of wanting to move forward. So I like this. It's this mix of doing Thursday, being Friday, being the feminine beingness, and then back to doing on Saturday with the Mercury exact sextile Mars. Then Sunday, so now we're on the 17th, Sunday, this is more Uranus energy. Remember Uranus, the great awakener. He wants to blow up reality. He's like, reality as you know it is not the reality that you know it. Like, what can you handle? It's really what Uranus is saying this whole year. This week he gets loud. What can you handle? Can you handle seeing your spirit guides? Can you handle seeing Pleiadians? Can you handle quantum physics? Can you handle AI and what it's doing? Can you handle? What can you handle? That's Uranus, and he's going to push, and he's going to push, and he's going to push, he's going to push. He is conjunct the moon, and now this is Osiris coming in. Osiris is bringing a lot of power from the depths, a lot of power from the hidden, a lot of power from the unconscious, right? He's Pluto essentially, but he's in the Egyptian mythology. A little bit of different flavor to him, but you can just kind of, for all intents and purposes, just go in the unconscious and all the juice in the unconscious and all the hidden in the unconscious. That's all coming in with the moon to Uranus, who's conjunct Sedna. Whole body transformation. How much expansion can you handle? That's Uranus. And Sedna's going, and I'm here to help you do a full body transformation so you can hold this expanded state that Uranus is pushing you into. Sedna is the one who went from mortal, human, to goddess. Mortal to immortal. Human to goddess, right? And like such deep transformation that when her fingers got cut off as a human, her fingers then turned into sea animals who then became like the food for the Inuit, like, and it's this intense, full transformation from one form to another. So she's there to go, and you need complete transformation of your entire physicality from one form to another with Uranus where he's at, because he's asking for a complete shift in reality and the great awakener of you will now be living from a different state of consciousness. Just that going on Sunday, going on this week, going on in all of 2025. Let me know if you want to know more about the new human and what it is that you specifically want to hear about. Do you want to know about this Sedna conjunct Uranus? Do you want to know, do you want me to interview people who are along these lines of new human, new earth? And if you know someone who's doing that work, drop a name below. Like maybe just let me know. They might be on my list. I've got a list of like half a dozen people who I've heard them speaking. I've like read a little bit of stuff that they've maybe written about it, and they're feeling in the same veins of where rewilding has been working for about the last year. So if you've got anything, drop a comment. Let me know. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you all. Okay, next week, just to give you a little bit of an insight to next week, we are Jupiter trine Black Moon. I think this happens on Monday. Osiris comes perfectly conjunct with Uranus and Sedna, so that's going to get louder. We'll talk more about that. And then we start to get into eclipse season, eclipse energy next week. So we'll talk about eclipse energy. That's very fated time. It's very destined time, right? Nodes of fate are lit up. Things get weird during eclipse season. So we'll talk a lot more about that. Again, there's a bunch of eclipse, different things that you could do. You could come to Australia, either the weekend workshop or the 6-day big bold in-person retreat that's happening the 6 days. Never done it in this way. We have not done a mystery school on straight up creation energy. I'm wildly excited for it. So those are below that mystery school threefold path. You'll see a discount on that below. You'll also see bones. That's a great place to start. Any of those, you're welcome to start, jump into. You don't have to have experience. You just got to have that calling. You just got to feel it like, whoa, there's something here for me. That's the only prerequisite that's really needed for any of these things. Okay, massive love to you all. Have an awesome week. I know I didn't do like a straight up prepper mission in this one, I will do that for us next week. I'll do a transmission on this Uranus Sedna Osiris. I feel like, or this Uranus Sedna. We'll do a transmission in next week's episode. Again, hit the subscriber notification if that serves and you feel like you don't want to miss anything coming up. I'll do that. I feel like my energetics are silly and they really want to go check out my little dog at the vet and make sure everything's good there and I don't have to make any decisions or do anything wild over there. Okay, massive love to you all. I will see you in the comments. I'm always there for the first couple of days. Thank you all for being here and making this what it is. Have an awesome week.